Sup? It's your boy Oshin. This is Oshin's View. You already know who I'm in the building with. Willie Negro.
What up?
We had a good trip to New York City. Y'all, we got a on fire interview that's gonna come out in a few weeks. Y'all are really gonna appreciate it. But we have some things we have to take care of first. But trust me, you're gonna have to subscribe to Oshin's View.
Yes, sir.
Follow me on IG. Follow Negro on IG. Willie Ray. Oshin's View. Oshin149. Because it's about to be takeoff time in a second. And just want the loyal fans and the loyal followers to already be down in its grassroots stages and everything. So it was a hot topic that I seen. And this was weird because the guy who I got this from, he normally doesn't post too much of anything. But how the old saying goes, every dog has his day. And he posted a very interesting question, even though it wasn't his. He clearly took it from someplace else, but I'm going to give him his credit as due. Excuse me. A guy couldn't afford to get his girlfriend's car fixed, so she asked her ex-boyfriend, and he helped her. So then it says, so my homegirl, hold up. Then it says, so my homegirl needed $1,500 to get her car fixed. She asked her man, and he didn't have it. So she got the money from her ex-boyfriend. Now her boyfriend wants to break up. Was she wrong? When I saw the question saying, was she wrong, I immediately assumed that was rhetorical. I don't even understand how women were justifying it. But believe it or not, this thread had about 300 comments. And I want to say 85% of the women that were on there were saying it was nothing wrong with it.
Bullshit.
Oh no, they were. Oh, you saying it's bullshit?
No, they're tripping. They're tripping for real.
And my thing was, I got to the point I didn't even want to go back and forth because, sometimes you debate a point and you know for a fact you're on the right side of that debate. Mm-hmm. And it's just looking like all I'm going to be doing is just recycling and saying the same thing after a while. So I kind of gave my little version of trolling and just started attacking the women in terms of, I think one of the things I said was, this thread shows that 90% of women feel that the ends justify the means. So a lot of dudes jumped on, liking it, laughing and stuff like that. When I first saw the whole situation, the scenario, how it played out, the first thing I thought of?
What?
I thought of my man Lim from Soul Food.
Okay.
Makai Pfeiffer's character, walking in Bird's beauty salon, and crashing that damn glass door and shattering it. It's the first thing I thought. I actually put that gif on the thread because that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. No woman of mine is to go to her ex for anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care how dire the situation is. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave a small window, honestly. It literally better be life or death.
Yeah.
Like literally. I'm talking about if you, to the point of, if you don't get the help from your ex, somebody will die. Right. It has to be that serious. I don't want that car thing, because it's a lot to unpack there, but how do you feel about it? Because I'm going to let you drop your jewels first, pause, and then I'm going to get into it.
All right. So when I heard it, initially I'm like, all right, so he didn't have the money to get her car fixed, so she asked her ex for it. And she got the money from her ex, whatever. So my thing is, men are providers, right? Mm-hmm. Men are providers. So we provide security in form of finances and other things too. Women provide things for us as well, right? Mm-hmm. One of those things that women provide is sex. So if for some reason I can't get my sex from you, can I go hit my ex? And hey, I need some sex. My girl can't give it to me, so what's up? Is it okay for me to get that? You see what I'm saying? And I know that people gonna say, oh, well, that's not an even analogy. Well, if you want a man that's a provider, then I think it's an even analogy. And my thing is, if he's not a provider, why you feel some type of way if he want to break up with you? You see what I'm saying? If that's what you want, you can't have it both ways. That's your man. He has to figure that out. You know what I mean? Or you have to figure that out. But you can't go outside to another man to figure that out. That's crazy to me. That is breakup worthy. Sorry. It just is.
Well, for the simple fact, this is the problem I already have with it. This because you went through it. How are you in so close proximity with your ex, like conversation wise? Mm-hmm. Like, I personally don't believe there's no real such thing, no real thing as amicable splits. And I there's probably a small version of that somewhere, but how comfortable are you still with this ex that you could just call him up and he's just gonna just do that at the drop of a hat? So this is my thing with that. So you don't care how that's gonna make your man look. Let's just talk about from that point.
That's a fact.
You don't even care how it's gonna look, because I don't care what a woman to say. A woman to probably say something like, he's not like that. He's not thinking like that. He's absolutely thinking like 100%. That. This is what he's going to say. He's going to give you the money. Yeah, you know, I always. Then comes in, you know, I always got your back. Always call on me when you need help. Yada, yada, yada. Soon as you leave, he might call one of his boys. Yo, you know, such and such just called me up. Motherfucking broke ass boyfriend nigga she got right now. She need money for a car, but she calling me. You know what I'm saying? I gave it to her and all that, because I'm going to hit it later, because she's going to feel appreciative, and I know her. She going to come through or whatever. And you know what's crazy about that? I'm not speaking from a lofty position. I'm talking from experience. I've been there for ex. I remember a time where ex got hit. I think I told the story before. She got hit. I stepped in. Her boyfriend was at the club when it happened, when she got hit.
Oh, the story where she actually got hit by.
Yeah, she got dumped by somebody.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend was there. And Duke was there that hit her. He ain't do nothing. I'm trying to take this dude head off. I'm looking, everybody's grabbing me.
Yeah.
Once the dude found out, he didn't care if he hit her and her boyfriend was there. He was like, man, I'll smack the shit out of him. When he found out that it was my ex, he called me up, mad apologetic. Yo, I didn't know that was your ex. I kind of had to take it to the angle of, you don't want to just hit women anyway, because it's a woman. This could have went totally left. But I say all that to say this. She was appreciative. And the crazy thing was, her mother, who I was cool with still, you know, respecting her mother, first thing she said when she got hit was, where was Oshin at? She knew we was broken up.
Yeah.
But she was like, was Oshin there? And guess what happened 2 days later?
Well,
cheeks clapped. And it wasn't on some old, oh, you owe me this, because you did. But the door was opened for it. She felt appreciative.
Yeah, and
come on.
But you said 1 minute ago. My thing is, who's giving this chick money off the strength? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not giving my exes no bread.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Like, why is he willing to get your car fixed? You know what I mean? Like, why is it that easy? I'm gonna call it like, yo, it's all kinds of things, all kind of speculation that a man is gonna have, because that's a shot to his ego. You see what I'm saying? It's all kind of speculation because me thinking as me, like, I'm not giving the chick money that I'm not dealing with. You see what I'm saying?
That's not a family member.
100%.
That's it. It's not a family
100%.
member. Come on.
I'm just not doing it. I'm not.
Hold up. I'm gonna be clear. No, I'm gonna be clear. I have a lot of women friends, and I do have women friends that are fully because we're mature. We do have. I know for a fact I have women friends that I would do that with. But the thing is this: we've never went there.
Right? Are you giving your ex money?
No,
to get her car fixed.
Once again, life or death. Because my thing is this: especially if she has somebody, that's the whole thing too.
Right.
Because that's the thing that adds to it. If your ex. Because, like I said, if your ex needs help and she don't have somebody in her life, maybe. I may not do the whole thing, but maybe. Depends on. It's not as cut and dry as I'm trying to make it sound. And I know I'm trying to give in a few caveats, but those caveats have to be in place for me to even think about it. Because my thing is this: I don't know Duke. Right. I don't want to disrespect him. Give him a chance to, you know what I'm saying, to figure it out or whatever. Your car not working ain't life or death. Now I can get it. Well, what if she had to take the kids to school and this, that, and the third? I get all that. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is this. You got the money from your ex. Now, if you could say you spoke to your boyfriend, your current boyfriend, about getting the money from your ex, and he was cool with it, then that's a conversation that y'all had. But nothing still is going to take the one up that the dude got from him. Because the dude ain't never going to respect him. Right.
So
go ahead.
So my question to you is,
go ahead.
Whenever you was in your situation with your ex and you saw that her man ain't do nothing, how many bitch ass niggas went through your head? Like this sucker, this nutter. You see what I'm saying? How many of those went through your head?
Of course, quite naturally, a lot. But this is the thing. I like to think of myself as a forward thinker with things. I'm gonna be honest. I think one of the main reasons why I intervened that night is because it wasn't out campus wide that we broke up.
Yeah.
And something happened to her while I was there. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take that L for that. Because the average person doesn't know. They knew us for being together. Right. So it wasn't an agenda as if I was getting something from it. It was honestly protecting who I was. Now, of course, I don't want nobody hitting, breaking up or not. But I just knew how it was going to look. The optics of it were going to be, damn, she got smacked up and Oshin was right there.
But did you lose some respect for old boy that she was with?
Well, first off, let me clear up. I never had no respect for him. And it wasn't it wasn't because he was messing with her. Okay. Like, it wasn't that. I felt, let's talk about it, because that's what we do. Without getting fully sidetracked, I didn't respect him because she started doing little things like talking junk about me, but to him, you know what I'm saying? At the time, gotta put it out there, at the time, I was going through some financial issues. Yeah. And my BG was out. Stuff was out. And a comment was made back and forth, and he responds, yeah, tell them to fight BGE before you fight me. Now, when he said it, I kind of laughed, because I was like, damn, that's some shit that I would have said. Sounds like something that I would have said. But I held that. I said, no doubt. See, but I knew I could beat him. So it was just like, so it didn't hold that much weight, because I just returned the first off, I'll slap you. Now, you know what I'm saying? I knew I can do it. Like, he had 0 wins whatsoever. But when he definitely was like, well, tell that nigga, instead of fighting me, tell him to fight BGE. I was like, no doubt. No doubt. But he got that from her. You know what I'm saying? Because my stuff was out. But like I said, man, women, you can't, if you really love your man, if you're in tune with him, You can't disrespect him like that because, once again, the pendulum swings both ways because you know damn well you going to feel away if he's going to his ex-girlfriend for anything that you could have done. And if you couldn't have done it, you would have still been like, no, you better go to somebody else, but do not go to her. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things is this. When we hear people say, put yourself in their shoes, I actually put myself in other people's shoes.
Right.
I'm a person that, and I want you to talk to this too. Me personally, I'm a person that the advice I give you is literally what I would do. Like literally what I would do. To give you a small example of that, somebody such as yourself, educated, doubles degrees. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're successful in what you're doing. Listen, knock on wood, God forbid, if something goes left, I probably would never tell you to work at McDonald's. You know why? Because someone of your stature, that's not going to make you feel no better about yourself. Right. Now, granted, I get it. People like, I know some people going to be like, well, you know, you got to get money where you can get it at. I understand that. But when you at a certain level, I know like when I was working certain warehouse jobs and I was like, you know, wasn't really doing what I'm doing now, things like that. I'm not going to lie. I felt like this shit was super beneath me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It did nothing for me because I didn't see a horizon or anything on the horizon.
Yeah.
So it's just like, no, but people don't, I say all that to say to bring it up together, people don't put themselves in other people's shoes. Because if you did, you would know that ain't cool either way. Because you would not like it if it's done to you.
It's empathy. It's all empathy. Like that. Like you said, put yourself in somebody's shoes. It could be anything. I said sex, but it could be anything. I'm not going to my ex for a chicken wing, yo. Nothing. I'm not going to do her for any of my ex for anything anyway. No. But my thing is, especially something that my girl is supposed to be providing. Something that my girl is supposed to be providing, whether it be food, sex, companionship, whatever. If I go to my ex for it, that's cheating. I mean, people always think of cheating as just having sex with somebody or physical, but that's cheating. If I go to my ex for something that my girl is supposed to provide, that's wild.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this. Ladies, relationships happen all the time. Things happen. You don't always break up because of infidelities. Now, granted, that is definitely a big part of it.
It's up there.
It's up there. I'm not going to make it sound like it's like two. It's literally 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. But this is the thing about it. A real man, a real woman would understand if you two are in a certain space for an extended period of time. We're not talking a couple of months. And sometimes it is months.
Yeah.
But let's just say you going on a year and a half. COVID was rough on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially with relationships, marriages, a lot of things. You go through some things or whatever. You can, let's just say both y'all step out because y'all are not being intimate together. Guys, and I think women too, to an extent, if it's something to just get your physical need off, people can. My thing is this: at our age, you sleeping with somebody else ain't the worst thing we ever heard. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is what I'm getting at. It's when it's continual. It's the not empathetic. What am I looking for? The emotions involved with it. Those kind of connections. Because it's feelings like that. That's tougher than the actual act.
Oh yeah. It's an affair. Is it because of what it says is you like this nigga?
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
It's an affair. Because it's not, see, cheating is I need a nut.
Yeah.
And I happen to get a nut. That's man or woman, because you know it can go either way.
Yeah.
What makes it an affair is when the feelings get involved. Once them feelings are involved, it's an affair. And I don't want to say who can easily break it off easier, but I feel men cut the cord a lot quicker than women.
Oh yeah, because a man's ego is fragile. So a man's ego is fragile, therefore he has to protect it. You see what I'm saying? So he can't walk in that. He got to cut it. It's hard for him to walk in that. That's why I tell people all the time, if you had an affair and your man stayed with you, that he went through some hell. He went through some hell because his ego took a direct shot. Your woman was loving on someone else. You see what I'm saying? Women, women have egos too, but a man's ego is so fragile. That's why we continuously need our ego stroked, all these things. But once you do that, it's just, men will go as far as when they like fall in love with the wrong person, men will sabotage it because they know it's the wrong person and they know that they're gonna get hurt. So I'm gonna hurt you first. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna hurt you first. You know what I mean? Women will try to make it work, try to make you change, and all those things. But men ego is too fragile. Like we get hurt deeply from things, and we don't like to show that. We don't like to feel that. So we cut it quick. It's just over.
That the cut also that I was talking about as well, added to that, was if a guy's dealing with a chick and you found out, oh yeah, we can't do this no more. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Even if it's because the feelings, I'm not saying every dude is caught it, because once a guy gets to the point where he's emotionally attached to another woman, then maybe they'll see how it looks and feels then. Because it's just looking like, oh, I don't really need you for the sexual part.
Right.
Because at that point, it don't matter who's better or not, because it's not a scale of who's better. It's, this was good over here too. Yeah, this might have been great, but this was good over here too.
Right.
But she provides me with this. And you've been lacking in that department. And that's the thing that draws me in. You start losing yours then. But that works both ways. Both ways with the guys too. So I tell guys all the time, you can't sustain a relationship on just sex. I don't care how good your sex is.
Nah.
It may hold for a second, but I always tell dudes, yo, look here. I understand, you hear dudes, I'm piping them down. She loved the leg and all this other stuff or whatever. But what happens when the other dude comes around? He's swinging. He doing what he doing, but
swinging is crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's my bad, boss. But he doing what he doing, but he's feeding her mind and mental and all that shit. She only needs you no more for that, because she's got her fix. It's almost a drug. I got my fix of pipe, got my emotional fix, my empathetic fix. All you doing is slinging whatever.
Yeah.
The only way you can still be involved is if this nigga's just whack, completely in the bed. Then it's like, I want to keep him around, but he can't do nothing. You see what I'm saying? And all that's doing is leaving room for another guy to come through anyway. Speaking of 3 people that just started turning up, and I normally don't really try to talk about DJ Envy. I know DJ Envy or whatever. Not the closest, but me and Envy is cool or whatever like that. I'll never disrespect them or talk about nothing with that. Nothing that I won't say in his face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll say something in his face before I go any further, but I didn't know him and Tyrese and his wife Gia had the smoke they had, because I thought that Breakfast Club interview was just going to be like, okay, they aired it out and that's it.
Right.
But Tyrese, we did know how Tyrese gets down. Him and the internet, he's looking for a deal somewhere. Now, I'm not saying he's reaching, but he's going to get some money somewhere soon, because they starting to see that that's what he does. He puts that camera down and he performs. This nigga is, what is his name in Fast and the Furious? Whatever. I forgot. I just remember the other dude is Brian.
Yeah.
Roman. That's his name. I be knowing movies. Roman. Hey, he be putting on this Roman. Okay, come to find out, they said, if you weren't paying attention, Tyrese went on the Breakfast Club. Him, Envy, and Charlamagne. Jessa Lavish was there as well.
Yeah.
And basically, they all that kind of had like issues over a period of time and everything. Envy and his wife were going through a tough time because Envy openly, admittedly, he cheated on his wife and everything. And Tyrese said that the good Lord, stepped in and said, help them, get their bond back.
And Envy admitted that's true. That he did step in and help them in their marriage. He admitted that.
Yes, thank you. But this is the crazy. So when he said that, I don't know how it got to everything else. Now, the thing about it, this is what I was listening to the interview in its entirety, but I was a little confused at times because I'm like, where did it go wrong? Now, before Envy said that he felt Tyrese was being inappropriate with his wife, I left the jump to conclusion window open for that.
Right.
Because I was like, the only thing I can see is, okay, if Tyrese is talking to Envy's wife, is he saying little things?
Right.
And of course, I don't believe Tyrese thinks he was flirting with her or not. So I don't want to say he was or wasn't. But
so the whole thing started because Tyrese felt some type of way about Envy and Charlamagne for talking about him while he was going through his divorce.
Yes, okay.
And he really felt some type of way about Envy because he had helped Envy through his relationship, and he was nowhere to be found when he was going through his turmoil. That's how Tyrese felt.
Okay.
And then Envy was saying, well, I pulled away from you because you did some disrespectful stuff. And Tyrese is like, what did I do? You know what I mean? And that's where, because Tyrese said it was a point where he had a reaction to some meds that he was on, psych meds, and he was bugging. But he also says, I don't remember disrespecting, because initially it was like, you disrespected my wife. You know what I mean? And then later he clarified and said, well, you did some inappropriate thing. You said some inappropriate things to my wife. You know what I mean? And of course, he doubled down, said he ain't say nothing inappropriate to his wife. Of course, Envy ain't say exactly what he said to his wife that was inappropriate. So I'm on the side. I kind of feel like you feel. He might have, his wife might have took something that he said inappropriate, but I still kind of think it was a misunderstanding, like, because I don't understand why. Two things: I don't understand why you help somebody save their marriage and then try to break it up,
try to get into it.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I don't understand why you didn't try to box his mouth if he was that close to you and he tried to do something to your wife. I don't know.
First off, box your mouth was crazy. When
it was crazy.
It was crazy. And I try to, shout out to my man Killer, my man Murder. I try not to put as many pauses in it as possible, but that was crazy. I was like, come on, if you just say I wanted to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
I want to box your mouth. Like, it just doesn't box your mouth. Like, and it's like, because it almost sounds like everything is so individualized like that. But all jokes aside, but the whole thing was, I'm not going to say what Tyrese said or didn't say because we don't know.
Right.
Envy left that door open for us to speculate what could have been said, but you can't even guess because, like you said, I believe a lot of it was a lot of misunderstanding.
Right.
And I don't think like this. Tyrese is a dude that gets chicks too. This is not nothing against Envy and his marriage. What I'm saying is, I don't see why Tyrese would have to shice him for that and go that route.
Yeah.
Now, if he was on the psych meds and he said some stuff, Tyrese did leave the door open and say, look here.
He apologized if I said something, yeah.
But if I did, it wasn't that. Envy didn't really want to accept it like that. And so now, of course, Tyrese, he goes on his rampage about how I got receipts. I know what was said and how I said it and things like that. And it's just looking like, honestly, it's just whack.
I think it's corny.
It's corny, and it's not calling none of them corny. It's just corny because it's like, no, hold up. It goes back to what me and you kind of have a thing on here that we talk about social media. Your take is handle it behind closed doors and have a conversation.
Yes.
Which we know I'm not going to say that's the politically correct way to say it, but my argument is that's not the world we live in now. Like nothing, people only want to go behind, my argument is people only want to go behind closed doors once they're the ones that look a little shaky in the public eyes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying like that? I'm with you on the sense of,
but that was
let's put everything behind closed doors, but that ain't the world we live in no more.
But it is the world we live in.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I just think that people put things on the internet for clickbait and for views and for things like that. When you a stand-up guy and you just want to get clear the air, then you go and call somebody or you go and see somebody and you clear it up. You see what I'm saying? Which is kind of what Tyrese was saying on his last kind of event. He was like, okay, you had me on the show. You wanted to do that for the internet and things like that. Because that could have been a conversation before they got on the mic. You see what I'm saying? That could have been a conversation before all that. And I thought, okay, that was an awkward moment, but it's done. They cleared the air. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Obviously didn't sit well with Tyrese because it wouldn't have sat well with me either because, like I said, we could have had this conversation already. Like we could have had this conversation. You holding this information? Like you holding this in? Like you're not gonna say nothing about me wilding out with your wife? Like you ain't gonna cuss me out, nothing. I'm just walking around thinking that you just abandoned me in my time of need, and you holding on to this craziness, and I'm thinking that I ain't do nothing to him. You know what I mean? That's a little wild. Like I just think communication is key in any relationship.
The thing about it is, this is what makes the internet what it is. Once a certain level of disrespect is put out publicly,
right,
you can't respond privately now because it's hurt people. That same mantra stands for the internet. You talk junk on the internet to the world,
right?
So I got to get my hit back. This is the new way of getting your hit back now. You see what I'm saying like that? Mm-hmm. My thing is this. You saw I had a situation online where, I used to do this little segment called Whose Man Is This? I talked about a young lady, never said her name. It was one of those, if you know, you know. I wound up, she had a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. I knew the dude, but I didn't know that was his girlfriend. Because I asked him, is that your girl? He said, nah, I just mess with her. What's up? I said, she's kind of been throwing leeway. He says, well, you can try, but I don't think she's going to mess with you. Cool. You gave 21-year-old me a challenge. No problem. I wound up smacking it down, whatever. I talked about it years later, not because of that type of consumption, just, going down memory lane, because the Morgan State University homecoming is coming up in a few weeks. So I would bring up stuff like that just to give everybody, memories and stuff. He then proceeds to inbox me and tells me how he stopped many of robbery attempts on me, that people had the shotty. They was ready to come get me. I was like, damn, niggas had a shotgun after me. I was nigga, you liable to have just 5 niggas with
little
you.
Old me?
Little old me? You wouldn't got a shotgun? You know what I'm saying? But he actually said it privately. Mm-hmm. But my thing was this. I felt at that point, I talked about the situation publicly. Mm-hmm. He then comes in my inbox. So I feel at this point, if I continue to talk about it publicly and I don't respond to him no way, he's going to be like, yeah, he know not to say nothing to me. So now I'm like, everybody joining on a conversation now. You know what I'm saying? That he tried to have behind closed doors. Was it right for me at my level where I was at with things like that? Yes. But for the most part, these celebrities, they're not letting things go unscathed. If you say anything about them publicly, that throws out all chances of anything ever being resolved privately. It's just not happening at that point. People aren't getting hit in public and then talking it out in private. That's just not where we're at no more.
I just don't think people getting hit at all. It's all like first of all, in few weeks, nobody's going to be talking about this Tyrese and Envy thing. Nobody really cares. You see what I'm saying? It's all fake. It's all smoke and mirrors. Tyrese got an album coming out. Like he just put out a single, I think. Like it's all smoke and mirrors. It doesn't matter. Like if you really got smoke, you go and talk to somebody. If you really feel some type of way, when you put it on the internet, it's a show. It's a show. I don't believe it. It's all a show. I'm telling you, everything on the internet is. I tell my daughter, don't believe nothing that you see online. Not one thing. You take it all with a grain of salt. You know, because people can be and do anything they want on the internet. The energy is totally different when it's me and you in the same room. It's totally different.
Or just in public, or just face to face.
Right.
Dudes ain't having that energy. Women ain't having that energy. It just is what it is with that. But what's the dude that played for what is this? I think he plays for Houston Rockets. I want to say NBA player. Let me look this up. Kevin Porter Jr. was arrested on charges of assault and strangulation against his girlfriend. First off, the news don't just put strangulation on willy-nilly. If they say strangulation, you were strangling somebody. Now, this is my thing. This kid is about, 24?
Mm-hmm. Young kid.
NBA player, very young career. First off, what was his downfall? You tell me what his downfall was.
Specifically, most people's downfall is a woman. I don't know what his downfall was specifically.
Let me help you out with this. I'll tell you what his downfall was. His downfall was just having a girlfriend. Fuck is you doing? You're the NBA. You are traveling cities. You are young, rich, millionaire. He ain't got no kid with her. What are you doing?
You want to experience. Experiencing the world by yourself is not fun though.
Yes, it is. In the 20s, it is.
Nah, like you want to when you experience the world, you want to experience it with someone.
Hold on, no, because we're not going to let you gloss over that one. So you mean to tell me, in your 20s, you were thinking, man, I just want to see the world with somebody that just cares and I can talk with them. That's how you was thinking?
No, but in my 20s, I also didn't really want to go to the movies by myself. Like if I went to an island, I didn't want to go alone. It's not the same with a random. You know what I mean? Like it's always better. Now in your 20s, you succumb to a lot of temptation as well, though.
All of it.
That's the problem. that's the problem. You succumb to temptation. You know what I mean? But in your 20s, eat as well as your 30s, especially when you got all that money. Having it alone is not fun. Like you want to do it with somebody.
See, this is where we defer. Because in my heyday, it was a lot of one night stands, baby. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was. That's what it was for. See, that's why I said that whole movie thing, I get all that. Mm-hmm. You have people that you can do that stuff with. But when I was traveling, I'm not traveling with no chicks. You know why? Because it's chicks there. Wherever we going, it's chicks there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a good time with them. It was hot, cold. My man Cole had rhythm spoons.
But that's how it is. In your 20s, you either, if you 20s, in your 20s you got money, you either with a chick or with your guys. And either way, you having fun. You just don't want to be. It's not fun to. You can't enjoy the money the same by yourself. I understand why people have girlfriends in their 20s, especially when they got money. I do. It's not a good idea. It's just not, because you really kind of got to live your life. You know what I mean? Especially when you got all those resources and all these, you're in the NBA, you're in the best shape of your life, and all these women is coming at you from every angle. You shouldn't have to block the temptation. You see what I'm saying?
I don't see how it's advantageous having a girlfriend at that time.
It's not advantageous. It's not advantageous at all, but people want to have a girlfriend. It's just not. You shouldn't have a girlfriend. You should have many girlfriends in your 20s.
This is my thing. Eddie Murphy made a comment before. And, of course, Eddie Murphy years our senior. And he said something about, somebody was interviewing him, and they said something about when he turned 40. He said, when I turned 40, he said, I wasn't worried about that. He said, I used my 40s to correct all the dumb shit I was doing in my 30s. And he said, and then I used my 30s to correct a lot of things I did in my 20s. And I never looked at it that way until he said it. Because we'll get caught up with that age thing. Me personally, I'm proud of my age. Yeah. And I've always been that way for that, because, all right, one of the selfish reasons is because I'm still active playing ball. And I kind of take pride in that. Yeah. Because I'm looking like, I know, I just feel in the world, like, you can only get, if it was a basketball league of 45 and over, don't put ex-NBA players in it, or college players like that, or even some. I'm kicking ass in that shit. In the world, Craig. In the world. Now, I'm not saying there ain't all the nice niggas out there, but I'm looking like, those ex-athletes like that, they don't count. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I can do cool. With the right training, I think I can do cool in the big three. But I'm still going to need training for that. Yeah. Because those is ex-NBA players. And then high-level semi-pro and pro players and stuff. So I'm not going to disrespect them. Like, I'm just going to run out there. But, I got some smoke for y'all, too, by the way. And this might not get to y'all. Shout out to $1 Million Worth of Game. And I'll mess with y'all. A lot of what we do is what we seen y'all do. But me and Willie Negro will bust your ass, Gilly and Wallow. So just letting y'all know. This ain't no cap. We will bust y'all ass. And he's from Philly too. So the bull ain't drawn. Whatever. The bull ain't drawn. So, you know.
Yeah, man. What's up with this football coach? The Florida football coach that was cussing out the kid, man. I think it was high school age kids. Cussing him out, inviting him to a fight, telling him that he was going to beat him up, all kinds of stuff, telling him get the F out and all this stuff. And then he suspended himself. And then he suspended himself. Like, I don't even understand it.
First off, you went through it too fast.
Nah.
He you had to break it down piece by piece. He cussed him out. What I didn't like about it was the whole appropriation of how he was trying to talk to him like he was black. Because the things he was saying, and how he was saying it, that ain't how white people talk. Once again, I know white people.
Hey, you gotta stop, yo.
No, they don't talk like that. This is what I'm saying. They don't talk like that. So it's just like, yo, he was like, yeah, you about that life? When he was saying it, it was reminding me of Will Ferrell. Like, Gator ain't never been about that. But that was a movie. He was clearly in a role acting like this. That ain't how Will Ferrell normally talks. But this is what this dude was doing. His body language, first off, all other players, they probably should have jumped this motherfucker. That's for one. Because I'm looking like, yo, you still got to know, the same way a child needs to know his place. Yo, when you're talking to black kids like that, and you talking down on them like that, especially you being a white male man of authority and everything else, it just doesn't sit well with me. Now, before somebody starts talking about, well, that's how my coach talk. No, you got two people here that play high school sports and other things, been coached and all that. My coach ain't never get that kind of crazy with me. And he done told my coach, shout out, rest in peace to my high school coach, Johnny Mathis. I'm not going to talk about my AAU coach, Dave Jones, for the Gauchos. Yo, he used to say all kind of crazy shit. But he never, when his get in our face.
Did he ever say, I'll fuck you up?
No.
That's crazy.
It was metaphorical. He didn't invite me to fight and things like that. It just, he went so far across the line, and then to have the audacity to say, you know what? I'm going to suspend myself. Like, what? Like, first off, just imagine what kind of society we would have if you can do crimes, you can do things like that, and you decide what your he did some kid shit.
No, that's some privilege. That's some privilege.
Okay,
that's some privilege. Hey man, I don't care if it's your organization or not. A black coach that's crossing the line like that, like he crossed the line when he cussing them out, inviting them to a fight, getting all in his face, and this young man is clearly just taking this with his head down and all this stuff. A black coach would have been ridiculed and never been able to coach again. This man gets online with the little black boy sitting next to him and says, I'm sorry, my actions were unjustified and I'm suspending myself.
To get help.
To get help.
I never respect that to get help shit. Like, that drove me crazy to me. But my thing is this. It just goes towards another issue as well. I can assume that this kid's father is not around.
Yeah.
I can only assume that based on the fact of you didn't hear anybody from that young man's side speaking about it. Because my son, that happens to my son. Look here, if you're talking about him being soft in the game, that's one thing. He ain't playing hard. You trying to do that? But you acting like you want to fight him? The line has been scraped out and crossed. And now, because I'm going to be that parent, oh no, keep that energy because clearly you want to fight. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens I want to fight too. You know what I'm saying? Like this. Now at this point, I want to fight. I'm not fighting you because my son missed layups, he dropped the ball, and he's not. No. What the hell are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish with that? Because let's just say that kid would have fought him.
Right.
And then either the kid whoops his ass, or let's just say for the sake of the topic, the coach just beats the shit out the kid.
Hey, that's a lose-lose.
How do you like what were you doing? What I just don't understand what he was trying to accomplish. No, let me cut it out. I know what he was trying to accomplish, but the method was just completely
execution.
Wrong.
Listen, we've had passionate coaches. We've had passionate coaches that cussed us out, all kinds of craziness, but they always kept it sports. It was sports. You playing soft. You need to do this. Where was we practiced this. Get your bum at sit on the bench and think about it. All these things is just a part of the game. It's sports. But they don't physically verbally, aggressively get in your space and attack you, and physically threaten you and invite you to a fight. That's crazy because we also have all had players on the team that would have accepted that fight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The crazy thing is, I'm thinking of one incident because I'm sitting there thinking about as you're talking. Because when you said we had passionate coaches, I had my in New York. Your high school coach is not allowed to be an AAU coach. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the rules have changed now across the country and things like that, but I know at those times in the 90s, it just wasn't happening. So guess who, outside of the Gauchos, when I started playing with my teams, summer team, guess who my coach was?
Who?
Nate Tiny Archibald. the Hall of Famer.
Damn.
Yeah, that was like no, and people want to say it's going to be a clip, but yeah, Tiny was our coach. We were playing in this one tournament, and it was a team from Brooklyn. I want to say from Lincoln High School. This was right before. This was Steph was there, but Steph wasn't playing in this one. They had this guy named Tashaka Ship. He went on to go to Seton Hall and things like that. He's the big man. They were the favorites to win it. But we had Cornelius Overby. He was from the school in the Bronx. He was like Steph Curry then. He was pulling from half and all that. He was nice. He went to Drexel. So I say all that to say, we were in a dog fight with them, but it was supposed to have been them blowing us out.
Yeah.
We was in a dog fight, and then we went up 5 with a minute left. And so Tiny was coaching the whole time. So, and I was actually in the game. Don't get it twisted. I was not the star of the team at all. But I had grabbed the key rebound, and I called the timeout. Tiny was like, he pat me. You know, when you're not the man on the team, or you're not even like the super blip, you happy when the coach recognizes that you did something good. And I was like a sophomore or something anyway, so it wasn't my time yet. He pat me on the back. He was like, great fucking box out. And I remember he was in the huddle because we up 5. It's about a minute left. We got Cornelius. We gonna do this, and there's no shot clock, so we good. We wound up winning. But let me tell you what happened in the huddle. He was like, look here. He's telling us to play, and somebody was talking. He said, hold up. Pay attention, because we about to beat these motherfuckers, da-da-da-da-da. He said, I'm going to need y'all to pay attention, because you're going to go out there on that floor, you're going to ask me what I'm supposed to do, and I might just punch one of y'all in the face. We didn't laugh at the time when he said it. We laughed directly after the game, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
But you see the context of what it was. Did we really believe that Tiny was going to punch us in the face? No. Did Tiny think he was going to be so mad that he was going to punch us in the face? Nah. It was metaphorical.
When I watched that video, I was watching to see if he was going to hit this kid. Swing. I thought he was going to hit that kid, or that kid was going to hit him.
This is what I'm saying. So he crossed the line. I'm curious as to why the high school or the league and stuff just went for him, suspended himself.
I think he started the team. It was his team or whatever. I don't know, but I do think that he has like the leadership over the whole organization.
Okay.
But it was just crazy to me that he suspended himself indefinitely. What does that even mean? He could come back next week.
That's what I was saying. Yo, when he said, I'm suspending myself indefinitely, but like, nigga, what? You want, if you want to take a 2-week vacation, just say that.
Right.
Just say that. But don't hit me with I'm just going to suspend myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to chill out. Like, yo, when I heard him say that, it reminded me, this episode, matter of fact, it wasn't Rush Hour. Chris Tucker was at Money Talks.
Yeah.
And remember the scene where he was like, $20 million. And he was like, we split it 3 ways. He was like, you get 10, I get 10, and you get whatever's left over. You get whatever's left over because you've been tripping. But it felt like that, like, nigga, you don't get to be your own judge and executioner. You know what I'm saying? But evidently in Florida, you do. A lot of funny style things happen in Florida anyway. So that's how that one goes. But I was looking at this young lady talking about how women like playing the victim. This is why they struggle with accountability because they want to be the only ones to say that they've been hurt.
Oh, the joint that she was talking about, that's why they choose bad boys because they, at the end of the day, they can always say that they have a story to tell. They have they play the victim. But I think at the end she said what it is a projection. They're projecting their stuff onto the man.
Have you ever tried to be a bad boy?
Nah, I'm not. It don't work for me. I'm not that. I don't know, man. I've always been kind of good in my own skin because I knew that I wasn't certain things. You know what I mean? So I never tried to be something that I'm not. What I'll say is I've put on a show for a woman before, though. I mean, I put on a show to try to, make a woman like me and stuff like that. But that generally doesn't work.
Oh, no. Oh, I definitely tried to be a bad boy. It failed terribly. I don't think it's never worked. It's never worked, and I've tried it. And I'm not even going to say it's easy now to be like, it just wasn't my cup of tea. No, because I went through the whole motions. Like, remember, like, to be a bad boy, you first have to have the bad boy look. And I don't know, maybe I was just too clean to be a bad boy. Because, and I'm not saying all bad boys, quote unquote, are dirty, but they give off a look of grunginess, if that makes sense. Now, this is my thing. Remember when, like, in New York, I don't know, when army fatigues was the shit. Mm-hmm. I never told nobody this. I went and purchased some. I went to the spot where they be having the army pants, the army jacket. The first and only, this is why I'm not big on Timberlands, because it just didn't fit my body chemistry. First off, I'm going to admit, I didn't have the Timbs with the leather at the top. Oh. Now hold up. To caveat, those weren't out just yet. Because people act like they don't remember before those, the butt nakeds that they call them now butt nakeds, those were the Timbs that were out. Those weren't out simultaneously. I don't give it up. They were not out simultaneously. I'm telling you.
I don't know, yo.
No, I'm telling you, do the math.
I don't know.
Fred, hold up. Fredro from Onyx Voice. Do the math, nigga. Do the knowledge, nigga. The butt nakeds were out before the joints with the leather. I'm telling you, anybody that tells you that they had the Timbs with the leathers first, they got it after a certain period of time. They ain't grabbed them Timbs when they first came out.
The double soles always been right next to the butt nakeds in the store.
Nah, no. I'm telling you. Yo, I had them early. I'm telling you, them shits was not out.
I gotta take your word for it.
Well, no, maybe somebody good, but I'm telling you, I don't recall seeing them shits. Because everybody I seen with them shits, then you gotta think about Tupac had the 40 belows on in Juice. And a lot of people didn't even have the 40
But I will
belows.
say this. Back then, a lot of dudes was wearing the butt naked joints.
Because they were the joints before the leather came out. Even if it was 2 months or 3, and there was a gap where butt nakeds was out before the leather. I guess whoever run Timberland was like, we got some leather on these shits or something. But them shits wasn't out. But anyway, I say all that to say this. I go to the store. I grab the army fatigue pants. I'm like, check. I grab the army fatigue jacket. Check. Butt nakeds. Check.
Hey, yo.
This is going to kill you. Bandana. Check.
Hey, what?
Check, nigga.
You grabbed the bandana.
Nigga, this is why when people say, yo, you don't like Tupac. Nigga, we love Tupac. You know what I'm saying? We loved them. That's why even people say New Yorkers they mess with Tupac. New York loves Tupac.
Hey, yo.
Yo, I go home. I go into the mirror. I put on the whole thing. I'm baggy as I don't know what. First of all, this is why I knew I messed up now looking back. I tied up my Timbs. I didn't leave the laces hanging. Oh. So I already had the choke going on. The choke, it was like as I'm lacing them up, the laces was almost touching. So they definitely was choked, looking like I was in the army or something. Oh my You know what I'm saying? So
that looks so First of all, they was butt nakeds. Secondly, they was choked up. That looks so nasty. Oh my God.
I had the choked up, butt naked with the army suit on, bandana, wearing it how Tupac was wearing it in above the rim with the backwards joint with that. I'm like this in the mirror. I'm giving you all this. And I was like, if you go outside like this, you are either going to get into a fight or just get jumped. And I went to school one day with that shit. When I mean to tell you, nobody really clowned me, but they was like, I remember my homegirl was like, why you wearing that? And I was just like, and she said it so calm and innocent that I knew it didn't work for me. And I'm looking at the rest of the people in my class that had on the exact same type shit. Now, granted, they wore their Timbs better, and they look. And I was like, So y'all not gonna say nothing to them. And they was just like, nigga, what are you wearing? Like, this doesn't. And I remember going home and my mother saying, and that's why I always use that phrase. She was like, it just doesn't fit with your body chemistry. Didn't really fully understand what that meant. I just knew it wasn't a good look for me. And I've always been that way with clothes. Once I realized what looks good on me, I was fine. But I could look at somebody else and be like, nah, that should look dope on them or whatever. But just knowing I couldn't pull it off. So there y'all have it. We gonna go and let y'all go. We gonna find out. I want y'all to do some research to find out that the butt nakeds was out before the joints with the leather at the top.
I don't know.
Willie Negro saying he don't know, but next time we go on Ocean's View, we gonna have it figured out. But this was another great episode. Ocean, this is Willie Negro.
You.
See y'all later.